Yes guys, what is up? Welcome to Supercars of London down at Aston Martin HQ in Gaydon, the United Kingdom, where behind me we've got a beautiful satin silver Aston Martin DBX. Now, to be completely honest, this is about my 10th take, and there is a reason why. I've got eyes in the back of my head because Lawrence Stroll has literally just turned up, and I'm imagining his face popping up in any one of those windows back there. But also, not only is Lawrence Stroll in the building, so is the brand new V12 Vantage. I've seen photos but never seen one in the flesh, and they've got multiple in there. But we are not here for that. We are here for this DBX. This is my first opportunity of driving the car before later on this month I'm going to be driving DBX 707 somewhere abroad in Europe. But this gives me the perfect opportunity to go on a UK road trip, and we have picked the perfect weather for it. Blue sky and sunshine all week. We've got so many adventures to attend to, so let's jump in, get the cameras set up, head on, and let me tell you a little bit more about what I've got planned for this week and the next couple of weeks on Supercars of London. Oh, Sport Plus, listen to the downshift. Oh, this is a powerhouse. This is a brute that comes with elegance and sophistication, because the gearbox is so much smoother than the Vantage, which snaps you into the next gear. This is a much more progressive, and I'd say linear torque delivery to what I'm used to from Aston Martins. And I'm coming into this drive very mixed expectations. Sam from Seen Through Glass, Tony from Tony Gravelwood have both driven DBX and have both kind of imprinted their impression into my brain as it being slightly underwhelming. But then you go and read all of the journalistic reviews of Auto Express, Top Gear, Autocar Evo that say this is, without doubt, outclassing its competitors in so many ways. Top Gear gave it 8 out of 10. Auto Express gave it 5 stars out of 5. I'm pretty sure Autocar gave it 4.5 out of 5. So this is an incredibly competent SUV. And what would you expect with Aston Martin dipping their toes into this market? An incredibly lucrative market, and one that Aston Martin need to nail. And now we've got DBX and DBX 707. Here we go then, ladies and gentlemen. We have arrived at Aston Martin Birmingham, where we are greeted with Aston Martin DBX 707 in the showroom and a selection of pre-owned Aston Martins out on the forecourt. But whilst there are some customers here, it's a little bit busy at the moment. Gives me the opportunity to take a relaxed seat in the DBX and talk to you a little bit more about this UK road trip, because it's been a brainchild of myself and Cora's creative team. For those that have been following the channel for a while now, you'll know that I'm a Cora ambassador. For those that don't know what Cora is, it is the #1 car admin app. Everything in one place: payments, tax, MOT and insurance for your cars. You can load them in, and considering I temporarily jump in and out of quite a lot of cars, let me load the DBX up onto the Cora app so that you can see it. And the reason why we've decided to go on a UK road trip is I've been talking about Cora quite a lot in London, but they also operate in Birmingham, up in Newcastle and in Merseyside, taking automatic payments and making your life easier when it comes to car admin. So if you are a UK car driver, then make sure that you have the Cora app, because throughout this road trip, as we experience the DBX and a number of other ridiculous and loud supercars, you'll start to understand just why Cora makes so much sense. It is literally happening in front of my eyes. As I turn the GoPro off, a yellow Lamborghini Urus has turned up, arguably the king of SUVs. I wasn't really going to reference it in this particular video, but whilst we're here, a Urus has just turned up and the owners have got out and they're looking at DBX 707. I did wonder whether 707 was enough to tip people over the edge that are currently Urus owners to make the jump to DBX, and by the looks of it, it is happening in front of our eyes. Let me know, Urus or DBX 707, what would you have? This is a serious contender for my next super sports car. I wouldn't class this as a supercar, but you've got the perfect Mercedes-AMG engine in such a stunning body. It's slightly sharper than the AMG GT, which feels like a European muscle car. This is very much an out-and-out sports car. And when you compare this to that car in terms of spec, I actually prefer this grille. Let me know whether you're like me, but you've also got the bonnet vents there. These wheels are beautiful, and then round the back as well, we've got the darkened clear tail lights, which when you compare it to the standard red, just makes these look that much more mean and aggressive. But then we move over to this DBS. Now, a lot of DBSs have a black roof and black wing mirrors. For example, that DBS over there, which looks amazing in a silver with those orange brake calipers, very cool. But there is something beautiful about this car with black brake calipers, black wheels, gloss black, carbon fiber down here, but just look how cool that is with the roofline. It just shows off that side profile a little bit more if I step back this way. How cool is that? I need to take photos of this, but let me head inside, show you some of the cars that they've got in there, and then take a look at the DBX 707, and then jump back in that beautiful thing and hit some of the country roads over in that direction. This gives me the perfect opportunity, whilst it's a little bit quieter in the showroom, to show you this. What a stunning automobile. This is a customer car that thankfully I've been given permission to just check out in all of its glory. This is the first time I've ever seen one in the flesh. And that cockpit, hold on, let me show you this cockpit, because we've got the DBX and then we've got 707, so we can actually compare the two cars next to each other. But look at the cockpit, and my bloody camera decides to focus. Imagine being out for a Sunday drive. That is the most engaging, exhilarating thing I can ever imagine, because we've got V12 up front, completely open air with this bar across the middle that separates the two seats. But it is just the coolest thing, and I'm never going to have the opportunity of driving one of these cars, so just to see one in the flesh. And then have a look at this sort of section here, where we've got custom helmets that sit here that I'm assuming you would wear when you drive this car on a day like today. To be fair, it's dry, it's not that cold, but the lines are beautiful. We will be as quick as we can, because whilst we've already seen this car, it gives you the perspective of what it looks like in comparison to a standard DBX, which is an elegant, sophisticated, quite beautiful SUV. When you consider what you could buy, this in the spec and the form that it's in is rather lovely. A little bit like my satin silver one. Oh, another DBX has just turned up there. It's an absolute ridiculous thing. I was actually leaving and then this turned up. Look at that. What a stunning and incredibly rare car and colour. I've never seen this colour before, but what a beautiful thing. That's like a dark green. Honda NSX next to 992, proof that the DBX 707 is attracting all sorts of interesting customers and car collectors. I'll tell you what, having Aston Martin Birmingham on the outskirts of the city means that we're able to hit some roads like this and really get a feel of the DBX's characteristics and also driving dynamics. And my God, I mean, I'm not pushing this car on at all. the way that this car handles, there's so much tech gone into the way the DBX handles, and then combine that with the Mercedes AMG of this brute up front. Oh my God. It just eats the tarmac up, and where it might lack in some of the numbers, if you're going to put this car on paper against its competitors, 542 brake horsepower, 700 newton meters of torque, 2.2 tons, it doesn't really stack up if you're talking about straight line drag race speeds. But really, Aston Martin have had the luxury and flexibility of being able to build this car from the ground up. It's a fully British bespoke SUV, not sharing parts, components, chassis of any other car, meaning that Aston Martin are able to reduce the center of gravity and make it feel more like an Audi RS7, a European muscle car that's a point and shoot, but through the corners as well. Look through the corner. Oh my God, it's so smooth and elegant the way that it cruises through the corners at speed as well. Everyone that I'm coming up against will probably think I'm an absolute lunatic, but it is so effortless in this car. And I think the RS7 is probably the best way that I can describe it. It feels more like a super sports coupe than it does an SUV, and that is credit to Aston Martin's engineers and the team behind building this car, because it is so ridiculous on roads like this. I'm so glad that Aston Martin Birmingham are out this way and not in the city. Ridiculous. And I mean, it helps that we've got the weather that we've got and the soundtrack to this car as well. It feels like an Aston Martin. I was worried that being a slightly bigger car, being an SUV, and this being the first time that I've driven an Aston Martin SUV. It's effortless. This car is completely effortless. And that's not even a touch on what this car's capabilities are if you wanted to put it on a track. And then just think about what the 707 can do. I'm going again. We have made it to the hotel, day one complete, and what a way to kickstart this road trip. Experiencing the DBX on those country roads is the perfect place to get my first impressions. We will continue to bond with that DBX, but tomorrow we're driving a completely different car for the first time in the Cotswolds, and then I'm hearing that we're able to get a Formula One factory tour. Whether I can film it or not, I have no idea, but I want to bring you guys into all of these adventures, and I am on a mission to not only educate myself, but bring you guys in on the journey to experience how Cora make our lives so much easier with all of the car admin. Preload your car onto the app and then take control of all of the payments, such as the Clean Air Zone in Birmingham, the ULEZ charge in London, and we will continue to explore different cities and part of the UK where Cora make our lives so much easier. So preload your car onto the app, head into the link in the description, download the Cora app, get your car on there, and then everything becomes so much more simple. Explore the app. I will see you soon for the next video. Take care, guys. Goodbye.